Okay, everybody, welcome back to another episode of the Bonus Point. We have a pretty good episode today, but before we get started, I just have a few reminders to tell you. With first of all, the deadline is going to be on Saturday morning rather than Friday afternoon, as we usually accustomed to. That means you have a little bit of extra time to set up your team and whatnot. I would personally recommend setting a team by Friday night. Do not make the continuous mistake of waiting until Saturday morning and then, oh shucks, you wake up late and you didn't get enough time to set aside before the deadline. So once again, Friday night, make sure and get your team locked in. At least lock it in where I expect to have it going into Saturday. And if you wake up in time on Saturday, then okay, yeah, you could go ahead and make any last minute switches or whatever. But definitely have it set from tonight or Friday night for the latest, right? And then you could go into Saturday resting a little bit easier. Another thing we're going to be talking about is there were a few injuries that happened over the international break. That happens every single time over international breaks. It's just something that you can't really get around. Players go and they play a bit more intense football. They train for a bit more intense periods and they get injured, okay? There are also cases of some players literally just want to pull out of training, so they get injured and go right back to the club for, I don't know, a week off. Some players need breaks over the international break. So yeah, they take an injury and go back. That is the reality of football. Next thing is that some South American players may not make it back in time to play this weekend. Brazilian players, especially, I think they have a game tonight, or is it tomorrow night? Not sure which one it is, but either way, it's not enough time to make it back to play their games. We're talking about guys like Rafinha. Rafinha may or may not play. We're not sure about him, but we know for sure Fabinho and Alisson and Edison are not going to be playing in their games this weekend. That's already confirmed, and a few other players as well. I think Bobby Firmino is also not playing this weekend, so just something to keep in consideration for this weekend. That does affect teams. Today, what we're going to be going through is a few flagged players, a few popular players that got flags or got injuries on the FPL app. We're going to talk about whether to keep them, sell them, bring them in, or whatever. And then we're going to talk about the all-important captaincy going into this game week 8. So, without further ado, let us begin. On screen right now, you're going to be seeing some of the more popular injured players. What I decided to do is just go on the FPL app and sort by percentage owned, and just look at players that flag, right? And we're going to talk about them. So first of all, we're going to talk about Lukaku. He's somebody that a lot of us own, especially after using the wildcard. His ownership has just gone up and up and up. With him, it's looking like fatigue more than anything else. He should be able to play this weekend. Pretty sure he's going to play. He's one of those that faked an injury. I would have to say is that. They said it was muscle fatigue, whatever the hell that means. And yeah, he just went back to Chelsea earlier than expected. So for him, if you have him, I'll definitely keep him. If you don't have him, I'll definitely bring him in because Chelsea's run of fixtures are looking pretty good. And Lukaku, I mean, we saw the quality against France. We saw the quality over the international break, right? So we understand what this guy could bring to the table. And I think it's only a matter of time until he gets consistent goals in the Premier League. I think over the next 3 to 4 weeks, these are the fixtures to do that. So no doubt that Lukaku going to be scoring, and I think you should definitely look to bring him in. However, if you have him and for any reason you wanted to sell him, the guys that I'm going to put out there is, Jamie Vardy, a pretty consistent player in the league right now. Similar price to Lukaku as well. Cristiano Ronaldo, a consistent player throughout his entire life. So yeah, somebody that I'll definitely put up there as well if you wanted to replace Lukaku. And then there's Jimenez. He just has the fixtures. So yeah, if you didn't want to go for Vardy, if you didn't want to go for Ronaldo and you wanted to step down in price a little bit, I'll go for Jimenez right now because again, he have the fixtures and he's fit. Two other players that flagged that are kind of heavily owned, or at least were heavily owned, will be Calvert-Lewin and Richarlison. They are both flagged. They both look like they will be returning from their injuries pretty soon. If not this weekend, next weekend for sure. This weekend they have a more difficult fixture, but next weekend is looking nice and simple for them. So for DCL and for Richarlison, I won't bring them in. If you had them, I don't know why you would still have them, but if you had them at this point, you might as well keep them because they should be returning pretty soon. Yeah, I would just keep an eye on them basically. Let's look to see if they are on the bench this weekend. Let's see if they get any minutes this weekend. But yeah, I won't go getting them in yet. I think it's a case where I just have to wait and see. Next one is Rafinha. Rafinha is not injured, but he's just playing right before the Leeds game. I think he has exactly 24 hours to play for Brazil and then get on a plane and make it back in Leeds to play the next day. I mean, we know Rafinha is very fit and we know Bielsa is a madman, but I'm just not so sure if any manager in their right mind is going to ask a player to play 2 games in 2 days. So that might be pushing it. But we know Rafinha is ultra fit. It also matters how many minutes he plays for Brazil. Maybe there's a possibility. My humble opinion is he's not going to play this weekend. So if you have Rafinha, I'd definitely say keep him. Even if you're on a wild card, I would say to keep him. Simply because I think at that price point, 6.5, he's about as good as it gets. But when you talk about playing week in, week out, the talisman for their team. I mean, we spoke about Rafinha a lot in the last episode, so I'm not gonna just keep reiterating that. But you all know how I feel about Rafinha. I think he's about the best for that price point. So if you had him, I'll definitely keep him. I personally have him, and I am definitely keeping him. Even though I don't expect him to play this weekend, the games coming up look really, really, really good for Leeds. So you definitely want to keep him. But if for any reason you feel like you need to get rid of him, around that price point, we're looking at Saka and Smith Rowe, 2 similar players for the same team. One plays on the right side, one plays on the left side. Either one of these guys I think should be fine. They have the fixtures coming up and they both seem to be increasing in form every single week. There's also Mbeumo from Sheffield. I said Sheffield. My bad. Anyway, there's Mbeumo. Yeah, I think this is a good option as well. He's listed as a midfielder, but he's playing as a striker. He has a good partnership with Ivan Toney as well. So, yeah, and they have some good games coming up aside from this weekend against Chelsea, I believe. Yeah, then Brentford go on a nice run of fixtures. So, yeah, Mbeumo, someone that you could bring in for Rafinha. There's also Jota. A lot of us have Jota. Jota seems to have picked up a knock over the international break, and this is kind of how it goes for players going on international break. For Jota, I would say let's go ahead and sell him because Firmino is back. We're not so sure how many times Jota is going to be starting. We know every time he doesn't start, he seems to come off the bench, get like 15 to 20 minutes. Yes, he's good off the bench. Yes, he could score. But when you couple the fact that he may not start, and also that Liverpool have some pretty difficult games coming up ahead, I just think the signs are there to sell Jota. If you don't have him, he's not someone I'll be looking to bring in. And if you have him, I think this could be a good sell this weekend. And the guys you could sell him for, aside from Saka and Mbeumo and Smith Rowe, as we listed before, are going to stick in Phil Foden and Jack Grealish as well. Personally, I'm leaning towards Foden just because the ceiling is a bit higher. And he seems to have inched himself into the squad right now. He seems to be doing very well on the left-hand side for himself. So, yeah, I would be looking at Foden and Grealish to replace Jota at this moment. There's also Trent. We know Trent has been injured from before, but it looks like he's pretty close to be coming back. Liverpool declared him as fit to play. Whether that means he's actually going to play against Watford or not is still yet to be seen. We're going to have to wait until the lineups come out, basically. The good thing is that Liverpool has the first game for the game week, so if you wanted to wake up early on a Saturday morning and get some kind of team news right before the deadline closes, you might be able to do that. Liverpool is a team that team news usually comes out for as well. So if you wanted to hold on that transfer for now, I would definitely understand. He's a player that if I had, I would keep him, just because it's about the best defender in the league right now in terms of FPL. So if you had him, I would keep him, but if you don't have him, I won't be stretching to go ahead and get him. It'll be difficult to include him in your team given the fact that he's way above all the other defenders in terms of price, and we're just not sure if he's going to start. We don't know how many minutes he can play this weekend. I understand that it's against Watford, and that's a very good fixture, but yeah, I'm just not too sure about if Trent is going to be playing this weekend. So won't get him, but if I had him, I'll definitely keep him. Now we're going to talk about Rudiger. It's kind of the same thing for Trent. If you have Rudiger, I would keep him, and if you don't have him, I won't go getting him in for this weekend because it looks like he had a back injury. Now, Hansi Flick of Germany did report that Rudiger, yes, he had some back injuries, but they said it was extremely minor, and the fact that he didn't play was simply precautionary. With Thiago Silva out, because we know that Thiago Silva is going to be playing for Brazil, I expect Rudiger to just go ahead and start because that's one senior defender already out of the team. And Rudiger seems to be the only guy that's capable of playing on that left-hand side centre-back as well. So if there was a chance for Rudiger to play, I definitely think they may make the push and ask him to play. Yes, it was a little back issue, but that was an entire week ago as well, and he's been resting on it for an entire week now, so I think he should be okay to play. But again, I am not the man Tuchel himself. I do not know all the answers. I'm not sure 100% if he's going to play. If you had him, I would keep him. If you don't have him, I won't be rushing to get him in for this game week. And then finally, there's Luca Digne, injured. Not sure if he's going to play this weekend. Didn't really see too many reports about him. If you all know anything, you can leave it in the comments because I personally don't. However, if you still have him at this point, I would go ahead and say sell him. I think he's too expensive for what he's given us this season so far. That defense doesn't really seem to be clicking too much right now. Rafa seems to be more focused on the attacking side of the game and winning games by attack more than defense, which is fine, but not too fine for Luca Digne. He's also not attacking as much as he used to before. Yeah, all these signs kind of point towards selling him at the moment. A bit expensive, not too attacking, doesn't keep clean sheets, and has tough games coming up. Let's go ahead and sell Digne. And that actually brings an end to this segment. Those were the injuries, those were the flag players. Again, I just decided to choose the ones that are more popular in the game. That's not all the injured players in the game right now, and if you have an injured player that I didn't cover, well, hard luck, right? I don't know what to tell you. Moving into the captains now. I say this every week and I'm gonna say it again. Captaincy is 50% of the game. Alright? You get a good captain that could take you from a decent game week to a great game week. Sometimes it could even save your game week. And these days, a lot of our game weeks need saving. So let's just get straight into the captaincy. Standout captain is gonna have to be Mo Salah. The most informed player in the league right now, some would say the best player in the league right now, and he's going up against one of the worst teams in the league, one of the worst defenses in the league. It is Watford. The first time Salah ever scored a hat-trick was against Watford. It was 4 years ago in the Premier League itself. He didn't just score a hat-trick, he actually scored 4 goals, but it was his first hat-trick for Liverpool in the Premier League at least. And yes, it was against Watford, so hopefully Mans will be looking to roll back the years a little bit come Saturday morning as well, you know. Definitely think we should be captaining Salah, but if you wanted to go a little bit different, I think Mane would be a good option as well. And usually I would like to put Trent in here as well, but we're just not so sure if he's going to start. I don't think anyone has Robertson, so I'm not putting his name in. I think Mane could be a good one. Sometimes Salah and Mane, they kind of work in tandem, you know. It hasn't been too many cases this season where they both score in the same game. If Salah manages to play a more creative role on the day, that usually points towards Mane getting on the end of chances. So yeah, it's up to you. I think this is straight up a gamble if you want to go for Mane. He hasn't been the best finisher this season. Alright, sorry about that. Had a technical difficulty. iPhones. Anyway, so yeah, that's all I really have to say about Mane. Yeah, not the best finisher this season so far, but has been bringing in the points. So that's a bad captain option, and shit, it's against Watford. So moving on. We're going to talk about Ronaldo versus Leicester. Ronaldo's name is simply here because he is Ronaldo. And his name is probably going to be here most weeks because, again, it is Ronaldo. The way that he has been playing is ultra hungry. He is the focal point of the attack of the Manchester United team right now, I would say. And I think Leicester's defense is a little bit overrated at the moment. This season, it's been a piss-poor defense. They've taken goals almost every single game. And if someone had to score for United, I expect it to be Ronaldo. So I think Ronaldo is a good outside shout. If you weren't going for Salah for whatever reason, you could go ahead and try Ronaldo if you still have him at this point. I want to talk about Cancelo against Burnley. I think Cancelo is definitely going to be starting. I think Zinchenko is actually still injured. But the way Pep does kind of do it is Zinchenko going to be injured and then he'll just start somehow this weekend. I still think Cancelo should be on to start though, and given the fact that he's starting, it's against Burnley, it's at home, I really think the clean sheet should be on. Aside from clean sheet, Cancelo is a very attacking player, so the attacking returns could be there as well. We could always hope for that, but I really think the clean sheet should be there. I think Cancelo is a decent option to captain this weekend. There's also Phil Foden if you wanted to really just take a chance. I think Foden should be starting, and given the fact that he starts, I expect him to bang it again. Alright, he's been really in form over the last 2 game weeks in the Prem at least. Heard he had a good game for England. I didn't look at it, but at least that's what somebody told me. Yeah, I think Foden could be a decent one, just like a punt or like an outside shout, kind of. 2 other guys I can talk about now. Not guys I'm ultra convinced by. It's Harry Kane and Son. The reason I'm not convinced is not because they're bad players. I mean, they have fantastic track records in the league so far. It's just that Spurs hasn't been looking too good under Nuno. I think Son will be a little bit safer to go for than Kane. Kane hasn't gotten a goal for the season yet. I don't know how that's possible, but the fact that we enter October and Kane hasn't scored yet just tells you a lot about what's going on in Kane's mind right now. And then I think Son has like 3 or 4 goals or 3 or 4 returns for the season so far. I think 4 returns for the season so far. Going up against Newcastle at home, I think this is a easy defense to go at, and I think Son could be a good option. If you had him, I would go ahead and captain him if you wanted to try something different. And then finally, it's Lukaku versus Brentford. I told you already, I think Lukaku is going to start, and at some point he needs to get some goals. It's not that he hasn't scored in the league as yet, it's just that he hasn't really been that consistent as yet. But this is the first time he's going to have a consistent run of easy games, so I think a consistent run of goals should be able to follow as well. A lot of people have been talking about the Brentford defense, about how good it has been. Yes, but they have also gone up against a few easy teams as well. We spoke about how good the Brentford defense is, but they went up against a top 6 team in Liverpool and took 3 goals. Chelsea is another top 6 team. Some people are even saying they should win the league this season, and they are a very capable team when it comes to attacking, with Lukaku at the forefront of that. So I don't think it's going to be a clean sheet for Brentford. I don't think anyone really expects that, and I personally think Lukaku should be able to score against Brentford. So yeah, Lukaku is a decent option as well. Just to reiterate, in terms of the captains, the guys that I would be personally targeting would have to be Salah, Cancelo, and Ronaldo. Those would be my top 3. Yeah, those would be my top 3 captains in that order as well. Ronaldo is in there over Son, barely. But I think that Leicester defense is just no good, and I think Ronaldo is the focal point of the team right now. So yeah, I would put Ronaldo in over Son. Those are the 3 captains. Salah is by far my favorite, and he is who I'll be captaining this weekend. Spoiler alert. Anyway, yeah, that actually brings us to the end of this video. Once again, do not forget, set your team by tomorrow for the latest. Please set your team by tomorrow. Aside from that, for all the RPM people that are watching this video right now, don't forget that it is a special game week. This game week, all even game weeks are going to be special. So, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, all the way up to the end. Alright, so another prize I'll be giving away this game week, and we'll post it on Instagram as we usually do. Aside from that, everybody, good luck this weekend. I hope your captain score hat tricks, and take it easy. Until next time, I'll see you all on Tuesday. Goodbye.